So, hello everyone. Welcome to our Python programming series where we are taking everything very smoothly from basic to advanced. We are going to learn everything from scratch. So, even you haven't written a single line of code ever, you could easily understand what we are going to learn this whole series. Before these, first you have to clear your fundamentals and basic terminologies that have been taught in previous lecture. So please do watch it. In our previous lecture, as I told you, we learned about basic terminologies. There are seven terminologies, just for a recap. Yes, and then we studied about variables, Python, which is very important topic. We also understood why Python is so popular, so understood it, that it is used in for beginners very easily because it's an so go-to language. We understood how Python stores information inside a variable and how we can create variables without specifying their data types. Also, we have also discussed few examples about all the variables. We understood what syntax is, what statement is, what expression is, what does keyword means. We have discussed everything, all of these in a certain details. Today's lecture is extremely important because from day one, I'm talking about some kind of things like strings, integer, I mean data types. I'm just talking about the data types. By the end of this lecture, you must understand what are data types. So today's lecture is extremely important because from now onwards, almost every Python program we will write use today's concepts. Whatever we are going to write, you must know which data type are you using. So today's topic is data type in Python. By the end of this lecture, you would understand what are data types, why does Python need it, what are integers, what are floats, what are strings, what are booleans, or we are going to learn simple functions that I have already introduced to you in the previous lecture, but we will discuss them a little bit in details. That is a type function. One function we have already discussed in a previous lecture, that is a print function. So I hope you know about it. And if you don't know about it, please go and watch the previous lecture and come back because without the base, without the fundamentals, you cannot continue with this lecture. Okay. Then we will going to learn about typecasting and the common mistakes that we beginners can make. We will also do many practical examples inside VS Code, so you don't have to worry. So first, let's do a quick recap what we learned in our previous video. For learning anything new, first you have to quickly revise what you have learned previously. So first question is what is a variable? So a variable is like a container that stores data. It, for example, a student, for example, I have given you there is a storage box and you name it. So you know what is inside that boxes, right? Whenever you're doing any kind of classification and all, you name it that okay, this come under this classification and all. Variables are something. It is like a container. It is like a storage box that contains data. So if I have given you certain examples, like in the previous video, if you remember, let me show you. So this is a Visual Studio Code. It's an offline compiler. We have already learned why we use it. And if you don't want to download any offline compiler, you can go with any online compiler. That's not an issue. So this is here what a variable is. Their student underscore name word. Whatever is written on the left side is a variable and it is separated by an assignment operator that we have discussed little bit about it, but we will do a detailed video about it too. Then there is a data. So student name has a data Isha. So the student name is the variable and Isha is the value that's stored inside it. So whenever we are going to print it, it's going to print the value Isha. Another example is age equals to 20 and we are going to print age along with that is giving the value Isha 20. So this is how our our like variable do work. Okay. So also we have learned that there is updation that is needed in variables. That's why it's so important. So if tomorrow my age will be 22, for example, so we do need another variable name? No, we do not. We just simply going to update it here. We are going to update it here, and the values would be updated already. So that's one of the most important advantage of a variable, that you just have to update your value in a one place, and whenever or wherever you will use this variable, the values will be automatically updated. Because the name variable suggests that it can change, it may not change. That's why they are called variables. Okay. Also, we have given you certain rules of naming the variables. For example, I have written student underscore name one here, but I cannot write it as like one student name, because that will going to throw an error. A variable can never start with a number. So you have to remember it. You can put the number after your word, after the first space is a letter, but you cannot start it with its initials can never be a numbers. Okay. Second rule was that no spaces are allowed. Remember this very well, that there is no spaces that are allowed. Instead of spaces, if you need it, you can use snake casting. That is, you can use an underscore. That will help you to give a proper spacing and look your code to be clean. And if you do not it, you can just name it like that too. It will work same. It will is both can work. But if you need a space, you definitely need a space. Just use the underscore. It will act like a space, and other programmers can understand it very easily. Okay, now third is dynamic typing. Okay, the dynamic typing, the word I have not discussed till now, but we will discuss about this word like more briefly in this topic. It is an amazing feature of Python, I would say. You never have to write that what type of data you are storing. Like here, I've used strings. I have used integer, but I am not writing its string integer or its int in number. In like other languages, like if I'm talking about C, you always have to write that what kind of data are you creating. It's an integer, float or not, whatever it is. But Python, or I would say Python is a more advanced in this, has an advanced feature that it automatically identifies that what type of data it is. That is what we going to understand in this video too. Like other languages like C or Java, you have to name it like this. That if it's int, you have to name it int age. Like you are using integer as data inside the variable name age. But in Python, you don't have to. You simply have to name the variable name and it's going to work. So Python automatically understand, okay, this is an integer. Okay. Python automatically decides whether it's string, Boolean, float without asking us. And you must thinking, how does Python know whether something is a number or text? So today that is what this whole lecture is about. And we are going to learn our new topic, a very new topic, that is data types. So let's start with our new topic, that is data types. Imagine you are working somewhere, like in a market, in a shop. You're working in a shop, and there are different sections. Okay, one have vegetables, one have groceries, one have bathing and essentials, electronics, clothing, medicines, whatever. Like there are certain everything has it categorized. Everything has its own category. You just have to work according to category. Why it is very much necessary in a supermarket to categorize everything? Because if we are going to mix everything, it will create confusion. Everything will be so messed up, we will be never able to find it. Now, what we generally go in a market store, we just go and look for the label where the grocery section is, where the vegetable section is, where the electronic section is, and we directly move to the towards whatever we desire to buy off. But if you are going to mix it up, it's going to create a good amount of confusion, which is a mess, I guess. So Python also have to categorize each kind of value. Python also categorize every value, and that category is called data type. In short, as the name suggests, it's the types of data. So if a definition asks you what is a data type in Python, so it tells us what kind of data is stored. For example, I have written in the VS Code 20 and Isha. So 20 Isha, are these all same? What do you think? Are you all these same? The answer is no. One is a text, another is a number. If I am going to put temperature, it will be something 92.8. So it's a decimal. Then if we are looking for something logic and needs only two possibility, either true or false, it's a Boolean. It's a true false condition. Therefore, all these are very much different. They are totally different. They are always treated very differently. Therefore, Python have to store them very differently. Python have to categorize them and divide them into sections so that we don't create any kind of confusion. Okay. If you want, I can give you more examples. Suppose we have our phone. In our phone, there are contacts, image, music, video, documents, then settings. Everything we have is stored differently. So whatever we need, for example, when I have to listen music, I will click on the music icon. When I have to buy something, I will click on the online shopping app. When I have to contact someone, I will click on the contact. When I have to click photos or like click the photos, I will click on the camera. When I have to watch my old memories photo, I will go on the photos or gallery and see whatever the camera roll consists of my pictures of. Okay. Similarly, Python stores numbers differently. Python stores text differently. It stores true false very differently because these are different types of things. Imagine if in the school also, if you remember, you all have a different categories in school too. You have different sections, you have different roll numbers, you have different student name, percentage, present, absent. Can all these be written in one format? No. If you have ever seen in your school or college, everything have different files or different Excel sheets or different sheets that are containing different kind of data. Students' roll numbers and names are in one section, finance in another sections, because that's how it's gonna work. Every department is divided. So roll number, integer, student name, fee structure, percentage, that are different. They are very much different. Some are numbers, some are floats, some are true false, like Boolean I told you. So Python does the same thing. What data type should be, what data like, what do you think what types should be of like? It can be a student's name, student's age, someone's height, or room's temperature, how much fees paid, if he has paid or not. Is he approved by school? Has he passed or failed in the exam? Has he taken the TC from the school? Like, it depends on many things, right? If talking about amount, it is a float. If I will ask, is it a pass or a is it a pass or a fail? Just two conditions, so it's a Boolean. And if you're talking about identity, it's either a number by admission number or it's a name. So data types is why it matters a lot. Okay. Now we are taking about what are data types here only. So data types tells us what kind of variables are stored so that correct operation can be performed. Okay. Why they are important? Because we can store memory very efficiently. We can use memory very efficiently. Correct operations would be used. Why I'm saying this? There is a term I already told you, concatenation. String performs concatenations, but integer performs addition. But both have similar symbols. You will understand these. types when we are going to study more about it. Also, it prevents runtime errors. It is a kind of error because when we categorize that, okay, it's integer and it's a float and all, so it's going to work accordingly. So that's why. First reason is obviously I told you again, memory management. Different data stores need different kind of memory. Every data stores have different space. Integer needs one kind, string needs another kind. Python optimize their storage and work accordingly. Like a suitcase, a toothbrush does not need a huge space, but a blanket does. Similarly, different data types require different memory. Again, correct operation. Just I'm saying you, string addition is completely different from a number addition. You will be understanding these in the upcoming lectures because Python behave according to the data types. It's very important point, so please remember it. Third is it avoids errors, the runtime error. For example, if you are adding a string and you are adding an integer, it's an error. Python will become confused that you are adding a number with a text. That's never possible. Either you will add two numbers or you will add two text, but you cannot add a text with a number. Hence, it's an error. So 90% of the beginner error because do the error because they forget the data types. If you understand today's lecture very properly, half of your debugging skills automatically improve. You don't have to again and again check whether where do I make mistakes, what we have done. So you just have to see how it works. So let us do some live coding right now. Okay, I have again opened my live coding by using I'm using VS Code right now. I'm using marks equals to 90. Okay, so I do have told you, but again I'm telling you, I have given the space because it gives a neater look, a cleaner look, and it's a habit of a good programmer that you are using space in between. Okay, now let us print it. We're going to print marks. Now name one name. So let us run it one by one, right? Let us run one by one. See, no problem, right? Let us add one more thing that is name. Aman, I'm using Aman and print name. So Aman is also printed, so no error because we are printing everything accordingly. We have seen the variable name is correct. The case sensitivity we have taken in our mind, okay, and we have named the variable according to the rules we have discussed earlier, okay. Now, if you're talking about temperature, say it's 89.9, and let's print it to is student. I'm giving it a Boolean value that is either true or false, and we will print is print true. Okay, print it and see what it is happening. So the Python is accepting everything because everything has its own data type. Okay, but what are these data types called? So we will learn about all of them one by one. Okay, Python has many data types. Today we will first learn about numeric data type. Numeric data type means anything related to numbers. Numeric numbers. Two important one of numeric data types are integer, that is said to be int, and float, that are the decimal points. Okay. So integers are the whole numbers. There is no decimal number, there is no point. So like examples are 20, 95, whatever we say, that is a normal integers. These are integers. Integers can be negative too, like minus 15, 0, minus 5, but it can never be in decimal points. So 5 is an integer, yes. 250 is an integer, yes. Minus 5 is an integer, yes. 10 is an integer, definitely, yes. But is 5.5 an integer? No. Because it does contain decimal point. 2.8? No. 100.1? No. Because their decimal exists. Okay. So remember that. Float is something uh, that has decimals in it, and it is used for precise work, like it's for precision more of it. Thinking about real life examples, a student's roll number will be a float or integer. It will be an integer. A roll number will be integer. Bank pin will be integer. House number will be integer. Cricket score will be integer. Or percentage. Okay, percentage not. Population must be integer. It cannot be in point. All of these are integer. Okay. Now float. Float is any number with decimal. Okay. For example, 5.6, 99.8, 0.5, 95.75, or 3.1452 something, whatever. The decimal means float. Whenever decimal appears, Python stores float. Right now we have written height can be a float and weight can be a float. Okay, if I ask you a 5, what is a 5? You will say it is an integer. But if you say 5.0, then it's an float. So do remember that how a integer and a float are totally different. A float can never be integer, an integer can never be float. Even though they looks very similar, but their data types is totally different. Okay. Real life examples for float is milk quantity, petrol, gold weight, percentage, TGPA, CGPA, temperature, speed, body weight, height, electricity bill, etc. etc. So remember, you always ask yourself whether you have to use a whole numbers or you have to use decimals. Like age is a whole number. Salary, what does salary mean? It's a float. It can be a float or it can be integer. You have to ask accordingly. Monthly amount can be float to. Roll number will be integer. Water in bottle can be float, can be integer. Number of fans, always integer. Room temperature, float, always a float. Okay, so remember these things. Let me clear one thing. A10, E10.0, int A, int. These both are totally different. They look similar, but internally they are different. Uh, so this is what we are going to learn in the what we have learned in the numeric part, right? Okay, so you think Python do only need numbers? We need other data types also now. We need text, right? Suppose you are creating an application like Instagram or WhatsApp, but it only store numbers. No, it will require your name, city, maybe email, your bio, whatever message is there, and you when you have to chat, you need to have using text. You will use messages, you will comment it, you will repost whenever you're reposting it and putting highlights and all. All these require text. Python stores text using a special data type called strings. Okay, so if I'm saying, for example, my name is Isha, that is a text, right? Is Isha number? No, it's a text. Is it a true or false condition? Like, oh, it's either two possibility, true or false. No, Isha is a text. Python calls a text in a string. If you want a proper definition, I would like to say a string, the sequence of character enclosed inside quotation marks. It's a sequence of characters. When characters are arranged in a sequence and we like enclose them inside a quotation mark, then it is a string. Now here Python, Delhi, Isha, whatever, Chat GPT, computer science or Python, whatever I write the text, all are these are strings. Python doesn't understand uh, that okay, hello, without if you write it like this, I write it like this. It does not understand it. It will take it as an variable. And but we have to print a message. We have to print this we have to print this text, right? Python doesn't understand that this hello because it thinks hello is a variable. If we want to print hello as it is, we have to either put it as in double quotations like this, print it, print hello, or you can put single quotations also. There is no issue, but this should be a quotation mark and print. Now Python understands it that very well that it isn't text. We want to write hello. This is a text. Python can understand it. Python allows three types. First, I told you is a double quotation. Second, a double single quotation. Third, a triple quotation. So Python allows three types: single quotation, double quotation, and a triple quotation. Telling you. Now you must be thinking why we need triple quotation. Mainly, triple quotation is used when we have to have multi-line text. Right now, I'm just writing a word, or maybe I would be writing a sentence. When I have to write a whole sentence that would be having multiple lines, then I can use triple quotations. It is good for documentations or paragraphs. It makes text easy. We have to use it when we are using multiple lines of code. Okay, let's do some basic idea of it. Um, Remember one thing, spaces are very much allowed inside the strings. For example, if I am printing intro like this, my name is XYZ and I am writing my first line code using string. See, I have given multiple spaces here. So spaces are, let's see if it is working or not first. Okay, so we have used the print. So print it. Intro. It has been printing it. My name is XYZ and I am writing first line of code using string. What if I want double quotation marks inside it? See, it will work. See, whatever if you want that, okay, you need the quotation mark also because remember whenever we are printing without quotation, like first let me again tell you. See clearly, I have written a simple string. So my name is XYZ and I am writing my first line of code. Okay. What if I want this? I want the double quotation. I just want a quotation mark too. For example, this would be a quote. Suppose I'm saying that instead of writing all this, I want honesty with this policy. Okay. I have written a quote and I want this to be in quotation marks. But right now it would be a simple text. There will be no quotation mark because it is a string right now. But if I want to, I can add quotation mark, but I after adding the double quotation, I'm just writing a single quotation inside it, and it will treat the single quotation too as in string two. But if you're going to reverse it, like you are adding these double quotations, let's see what happens. You get the double quotation. So whenever you need a double quotation mark inside it, you have to write a quotation mark inside a quotation mark. A single quotation is also a string. A double quotation is also a string. Triple quotation is also a string, but it's a multi-line string. It is good for documentation, or we have to write multiple lines of text or a paragraph or something. Okay. So if we have a college database and his name called Aman. Aman have a branch computer science and he has an email like xyz@gmail.com. The string will be used in all of these. Okay. Although mobile number look numeric, but it could be also written like an string. For example, I am writing 9876 something. Okay. Okay, we haven't printed. One just printed. See, now you but must be surprised that okay, how does it happening, right? Because after adding the double quotation, now it's not a number. Now it's a string. String is simple message that should be read and displayed accordingly. So remember this. Now it is a number, not a string. Although mobile number looks numeric, but we cannot perform addition or we cannot use anything on it if we are actually storing it as a string. So remember, now it is not an integer, it's not a numerical value, it's a string. Okay. For why do we do that? You must be thinking, like, suppose why we are doing this. Phone number starts with zero. For example, the phone number starts with zero. So here zero. Okay. If stored as integer, let me remove the strings. If stored as an integer, let's see what happens. The leading zero is causing the problem because Python either removes the leading zeros, okay, or it will not either either way it will not permit you to write it like that. But what if someone is having a zero in their first letter? How will they print the number? In such cases or in such numbers, we are using the thing string. Now it will be easily printed. See, Python take leading zero as a wrong input. So, like many things, like phone numbers, PIN codes, passport numbers, your flat number, roll number. Usually, if it starts with zero, that can cause a problem. So we store it as a string so that there should not be any problem. Okay. So if I'm asking you, is this an integer? No, it's plain. Remember, because this is all inside a quotation mark. Python sees it is a text, so it is a string now. Now it is not a number. Okay. Okay. If this is and MOB1, I'm pasting the same number. They both do look same, but they are totally internally different. They're completely different. Okay. So now, since we are talking about string, I have already told you a term called concatenation. So a string, if I want to add two strings or I want to join two strings, this can be also done. But this process, this adding of two strings is called concatenation. Let me give you an example. First, let's say last, um, thing, thing. When you want to print it, I'm just doing one more thing. Full post was last. Print full. Let's see what happens when we are doing this. What we did first, we created a variable name first and gave that Rahul as a value to the first. Then we created last and gave Singh as its value. Then we created a variable name full and we just added first and last. We added these two variables, the first variable and the last variable, and we are printing the full. Let's see what happens. Hmm, here it- let's start. You can see they have added the whole number, Rahul's thing. It is added. Now you must be surprised how did this happen? This process is what we called as uh, concatenation. Okay. But you must be thinking, okay, but we do need space, right? How can we do it? Rahul should after the Rahul there should be some spacing. We can do that too. What we are going to do is after this we are just using two double quotes that is and giving a space and add it. Let's see what happens. See what we are doing. First, we are using the first variable that is Rahul. Then we are have using a string. It is an empty string that is acting as a space here and added the last. So first, then the spacing, then the last. So it is providing us the desired result. Whenever you need the spacing, you have to use this uh, uh, empty strings. Okay. So, but since I'm using a different variable, you can do another thing that is print first plus last. Instead of creating a new variable, I'm just adding that in the print function itself, checking if it is working or not. Okay, it is working. What if I want print post plus what happens? See, it is giving us the same result. So you can do it like this. Either you can create a new variable or you can directly print it. But I would suggest you to creating a new variable. But why I'm saying this, you will understand when you will be writing a whole new code. you will be writing big, long programs, then you will understand why I'm saying it. It's a good habit that you create a new variable when needed. Unnecessary variables are also not required in the coding language. Okay, now it's your task. Create your own variables like name, city, any food, any place, any language, and print it by using different concatenation. You can do it like you can wholly add, take different words and add them into a sentence. You can do that too. Try it, and till then I can explain you a new concept, new thing about string. Strings immutability. Okay, so you must have heard about the word mutable. Now I am talking about strings immutability. Imagine you are writing your name on a paper. Instead of changing letters, you erase it and rewrite it. Python behaves similarly. Whenever we modify a string, Python creates a new string. Old one remains unchanged. No need to explain, I would say no need to understand this to, to the depth. I'm not going to explain it very deeply, but you just have to understand how what I'm saying. Okay, so what I meant is whenever you are writing or modifying a string, right? If I'm changing Rahul to Rahil, okay, so the previous string would be already have been stored. It will be unchanged. Only a new string will be created as Rahil. So this is what we call strings immutability. This is nothing you have to go in deep right now. It's just a simple concept that should be explained. So I have just told you. Okay, while creating the strings, remember some errors you can do. That is, you're not putting them in double quotes because if the quotation is missing, it will never take it as an text. And if it is not taken as text and it is not neither a number, it will throw an error. Remember that whenever you are writing, it should be inside a double quotes. Okay, one more error you might do. Here you use double quotes and you use here single quote. This might also throw an error. Remember, if you are using double quotes, then use double quotes only. If you are using a single quote, then use single quote only. Different quotes can lead to syntax error. Always match and correct it. Now, mistake number three that could happen. Uh, you can I think I have explained everything. So remember how string works, how it is different from integer. And so far we have learned that numbers and text. Now let's learn data type that has only two possibilities that I am telling you about from very much time. Boolean. If I ask you, is today Monday? You will say either a yes, either a no. The possible answers are two, no. Yes, no. Uh, so there is a 50-50 chances, right? That there might be a Monday, there might not be a Monday. Simple, only two possibilities. So exactly this is how a Boolean works. Boolean stores only two possibilities, true, false. Why does it have only two values? Because you must have that heard that Python stores only Python, not Python, but computer understands only two terminologies, zeros and ones. It can only understand the language of 0 and 1. It cannot understand anything else. 0 is false, 1 is true. It is working like that only. Remember, true, false is a keyword. So, if I'm talking here, capital letter of this is true, and there should be a false letter. minute. So since it's a keyword, so the capital letter of true should be always capital, and the first letter of false should be always capital. Because it's a keyword, it should be written as it is because it's a reserved word and it's a case sensitive language to remember. If you write it as to write it is let me write it here. If you write true as this is error. But if you write it is like this is also this is also wrong because first letter is small. This is also wrong because other letters are capital. Remember, the correct thing is only the first letter should be capital, other should be false, other should be small. Similar to false to you write first letter in small case, then it's wrong. You write all the letter except the first case is also wrong. Only the first case should be capital, others should be in small case. So remember this is. And where do we use these booleans? Is the student present? The yes or no, true or false. If I say Aman is present, either true, either false. Is door locked? Either true or false. Fan is running, either true or false. Internet connected, either true or a false. Is Python correct? A password correct? True or false? Have you passed the exam? True or false? Is light on? True or false? Electricity available? True or false? So this is how it's going to work. Now let me give you an idea. Has ID equals to true? I am already giving it that has ID is consist of true. It's printing true. If I say it is log false. Okay, it's saying the false. So this is how this is going to work. You can write multiple things, multiple examples. For example, attendance either true or false. It assignment submitted true or false. Hostel fee paid, or book is returned or not. Boolean is very important because every app, every website, every game, every ATM, every mobile application uses a Boolean. If you remember, even in your mobile application and games also come that should we enable this setting, true or false, yes or no. So in every case, you can see Booleans are used. Okay. I know somewhere its name is changed into yes or no, but the concept is same. That you have only two possible values. Either that possible is values is true or false. Instagram is also using it. Is the password correct or not? If it's correct, then you should. It's true. It's true. Then you can log in. If the password is wrong, then you are staying on the login page, or you can go on the forget password. So it is like a condition, is either a true or a false. Amazon uses to as if the payment is successful. If true, then order is confirmed. If false, payment is failed. Similarly, WhatsApp is the internet available. If true, so message will be sent. Not, it will send the waiting message. Okay, message has been not sent. YouTube too does it. Like you have premium members. Like are you a premium member? So you will say true, yeah. So he will, like YouTube will provide you facilities like no ads, and you can go in built-in miniature TV that it allows. And if you say no, I'm not a premium member, so ad will be shown. There will no any premium features unlocked. Google Map asks, is your GPS on? If it is on, your location will be shown, and whatever direction you have asked will show you. If false, it will say cannot detect your location. Similarly, you can do mini coding activities by writing your own true and false answer and try to print it. Beginner mistakes, what they do is, what if I write it as, okay, so hold for a second and think, what do you think it gonna, is it going to throw any error or is it going to print the value? Let's just wait for it like 30 seconds. Let's try then. Okay, it is getting printed. Now, if I am printing it, okay, now this is also printing. But what we student in the beginning do mistake, this is a string. It is not a Boolean because it is with quotation. Right now, it is not taking it as a keyword. It is not taking it as a true keyword. It is taking as a text. Now, I have already explained you keyword. For a recap, keywords are the fixed reserved words that comes with Python, and they have their own initial special meaning. So you cannot change their meaning. You cannot use them as variables. So remember, here it is working as a string because you have used a double quotation. In the second one, where you have used student one variable, there it is using as what we say Boolean. So remember this. Okay, so right now we have learned integer. We have learned integers are the whole numbers. Then we have learned float, that are the decimal numbers. We have learned string, that is the text that is enclosed inside double quotation, or we can say a sequence of characters. Then Boolean, which gives either true or false value. So try your own, that how did you do, how will you like again revise all these topics by your own, by creating your own variables, creating your own data types, and we can move to the next topic. Okay, till now I have been explaining you what data type it, what like four, what are the four major data types I have explained you. That first is integer, float, string, boolean. Now imagine someone is giving you a variable. Can you just tell me by looking at it that what kind of data type it is? Now your answer may be yes or maybe no, because Python has a like, if I have given you an example, simple example, right here only, I have given you two values. Some of you might know that okay, this is a boolean, this is a string. But what if a normal person have never done any line of coding? They will say, "Na, okay, both are same, both are giving the same value, true." So what's the difference? By looking at the output, you cannot tell me that which one of them is a string, which one of them is a boolean. So for that, Python has an inbuilt function, or we can say a built-in function that tells us the exact data type. That function is called type. is written as type. Right now, till now we have discussed only one function, that was print, and right now we are discussing type. Though we have already discussed a little bit about type, but you are going to learn more in a informative and elaborative form that how this type function is. Today we are going to inspect how the variables, by looking at the variables, we can detect what type of data type it is. Okay, so if I write age equals to 20, okay, you know it's an integer, I know it's an integer. What a second person wants to know what type of data type it is. Maybe I am saying it is an integer. What if Python is storing it very differently? How can we verify, okay, it is an integer? So Python itself says that you can, if you are not sure that you don't know what is its data type, you can verify it by an inbuilt function type. So before explaining a type, I am basically explaining what is a function. Functions is a block of code or is called a special line that have their special task to perform. Okay? We have already used one function, which is print. Exactly like print, that print is for printing. Type is to tell the data type. They have the literal meaning of their names. Functions are used to perform their specific task. Now we are going to check how we are going to know its data type. So I am creating a variable check, and I'm using type function here, and then print this check. What happens? Okay, can you see? It is telling us that it's int. Int is integer. It is automatically tells, ignore this class part. It just focus on the int part. It is telling us, okay, it's an int. That means it's an integer. Either you can, okay, next do another example. Temperature. 58 point check one again. Type temp print check one. Now it is telling us that it's a float. Let's do it with a name. Now it is a string. Now it is classified as string. So you see how this type function is run. str is a short form of string, so please do remember, just like int is a short form of integer, str is a short form of string. So do remember it. Now let's check our last one too. Is there. Bool. Now it is telling bool. Bool is, I would say, short form of Boolean. So remember these four. These are the important data types you must learn. Okay, you also have been thinking that I have taken a different variables and checking it. You can directly check it inside a print function also. Python allows us to write a function inside a function. So that's not a problem. If I want, I can directly use it is like this. just see, it is also giving them. So Python gives us the allowance, so we can do it accordingly. We can create a new variable, or we can just write a function inside a function. Changing value doesn't affect the type unless the kind of value changes. If you are going to change the data value, then obviously that would be a change. Let us try this with a minus 20 just for reference. Let's see what answer it gives. Again integer because it's a whole number. What if I say it's 20.0? Then then it comes float because here it's a point. Okay. One more thing I have told you about dynamic typing. It's one of the Python's superpower. Okay, so what it says is, let me give you an example. Suppose x is 20. I'm printing it. First, let me clear this so that you output. Print. I have given x a value and printed it. Okay. Now x, I'm just printing the first value right now. Let's see what happens. Okay, right now it's a fine. Now let's take in the second one. Now you must be very much surprised. Okay, here it is. We are using x. The same variable is has been used, x and x. But here it is showing an integer. The second part it is showing the string. So same variable but different values, different types. But Python allows this. This is what we call dynamic typing. Same variables can have different data types, different values. It will show them separately, unlike C or Java that can create an error. This is one again a new advantage of our Python language that makes it so easier to use. So you can see initially it was age it was 20. That was an integer. Later someone accidentally write it as an text 20. Python changes the type. Program may behave differently. Always be careful. Program may behave differently, but you can see the type of this x and this x is different. But try to not overuse it because that can create confusion. Okay. Now let us do some of few examples. Okay. That showed an error. You must be thinking what happened. You were just adding two numbers, right? 95 and 5. Why it is showing an error? So for that, first check the type of the variable marks. What is the type of the marks? It's a string. The problem is found. This is why programmer use type function. Helps to locate bugs and we can debug easily. You can understand that. Okay. So this was a brief explanation about the function type. Always remember if you forget type, you can think as a something as a strict teacher. Whenever you are getting confused, just ask, okay, teacher, what is this? And it immediately answers. So now that we know how to identify types, let us learn how to change data type. Right now, we were directly assigning them the values accordingly. That okay, this is string, this is integer, this is float, and something something. But after this, we are going to learn how to change the data type. That topic is called typecasting. That is our new next topic, typecasting, or we can say conversions of data type. Suppose your school ID has been expired. Okay, what you will do? Will update it now. Similarly, sometimes we need to change one data type into another. That process is called typecasting. Okay, you must have been heard about this word maybe, but if you haven't, so don't worry. We are going from very basics. So typecasting means converting one data type to another. So for example, you can change a string to integer, then integer to float, or a float to string again, and a string to Boolean. You can do as much conversions you can do. Python allows many conversions. There is no issue. Integer can be converted into the string. Float can float can be converted into integer. String and string can be converted into float. Integer, Boolean. Boolean could be can be changed into integer, float, string. There is never ever a problem. Now you must be thinking, why does this feature has been launched? Why do we need typecasting? Suppose you are filling an online form. You entered your age 20. Now 20 is a number, but computer take it as string 20, right? Double quotation, or we can say computer take it as in text. If you want addition, you always need integer. As I told you, concatenation process that a strings can never be string numbers can never be added. For example, what I mean is I'm taking x equals to 98, y equals to 2, and I suppose I want to do x plus y. What do you think result would be? Hold for some few seconds and just think. What do you think the answer would be? Let's try running it. Answer is 982. Answer is not 100. What if I am doing it like this? Then the answer is 100 and the previous is 982. So remember, for addition, you always need integer or a float, or we can say you always need a numerical value. You cannot work with strings. Okay. Another example, for example, in an ATM, you typed 500 like this. But it is a text. How would he will know that how much amount you want? What ATM do? It convert into integer. Because I told you that Python works according even every computer works according to instructions given to him. They don't have common sense. They just follow your instructions. Otherwise, they don't know that what your intentions are. So if you are typing the amount 500 as string, if machine is converting it integers, then okay, then there will be some calculation or something. Otherwise, there will be no calculation. So for that, Python have created some more built-in functions for typecasting that are written here. That the common functions are. That is this int. That is this integer. This float. This it's tr. this Boolean. Okay. So these are some built-in functions. Okay. Now let us do some examples so you might understand this more clearly. Age equals to 20. Looks fine, right? Try to add it. 20, fine. I want to add it to 25. I want to make my age 25. And I thought like just do it like this. Add 5 into 20. Then see what happens. Oh shit, it's an error. Why does it throw an error? Because age is a string and 5 is a number. A number and a string can never add it. Either you can add two strings, you can add two numbers, but never ever a number and a string. So remember that. But what if I change its style? Right now it's a string, but if I use a function int and put it inside that function. Remember in Python, every function comes with these braces, and whatever the data we put under these braces, and these are called parentheses. So always remember you have to enclose every function inside a parenthesis. So int function is like, let's, what do you think? Will it work? Let's see. Okay, it is showing the answer 25. Now what happened? What changed? This number changed. Right now, if I ask you the type of age, will give you integer because I just typecasted it into integer. You can even change that into float too, right? See, float. And I want to add 20, not 20, but age plus 5. How this? It is giving the answer 25.0. Why it is giving 25.0? Because it will convert it into 20.0 because float is always a what is always a decimal numbers. Okay, so remember all these. Let's move forward and try these. Now let us try our string function here. Um, let's do age 20 text str age print text. Let's see how it is going. Let's try what is the type of text right now. Okay, we are printing the type of age. We are printing the type of text and the result. So the type of age is integer. So first we have printed the text that we have changed it. First the age was an integer. Then we used another variable text and use function string to convert age into a string. Now age is not a number. Now age is a string. Every data that comes inside the str function, string function, it becomes a string. So they might look similar. 20 and 20 might look similar, but to verify, we just used type function. Here also we are using type function. So see, first we printed the text, so its answer is 20. Then we printed the type of age, this age. So it's a numerical value, so it's giving the integer. But then we changed the value by in the text one. text variable. So here after this the value has been changed into a string. So without str program will clash, definitely will clash. But with this will never ever clash. Okay, if you want, I can print a message too. Um, my name is, and a little bit space. See, I'm doing this here. Let's see what happens. I already told you that a string and a number can never be added, but a string and a string could be. So my name is my name is not my age is 20. So my age is 20. Okay, for Boolean typecasting is little bit interesting and little bit different. For example, print bool one. Bool is for Boolean, okay? See? True. Now let's print bool. What's the false? Um, print bool low. Again a true. Print bool empty strings. Now it's a false. Now let's explain why. Let me explain why. Empty things are usually false. In programming language, empty things are usually false. Filled things are usually true. No need to memorize everything. We will revisit it later. We will revise it. You don't have to worry, but it's an basic idea. Real life example for this, I would say, whenever you use user type something, Python receive it as a string. Right now, we have taken some examples, but when but for example, if you have given string, but you need to have some calculation, so Python can change it into numbers so that you can perform some calculations. Okay, so try your by your own the simple typecastings, and this is almost we have covered everything. Let's see what are the beginner mistakes you can make that you should avoid. So far, we have covered integer, float, that's a string, Boolean, type function, typecasting, dynamic typing. Now, before becoming a good programmer, we first know what are our mistakes, what we make, and believe me, every programmer makes it, including me. At sometimes, right now, only the between the lecture you have seen, even I have made some mistakes, and that's very common. The difference between a beginner and advanced is how to fix them. If you the only difference will be between a beginner and an experienced programmer would be is that experts never make any mistakes. Experts simply know how to fix them. It's not like experts never make mistakes, they know how to fix them. That's the difference between a beginner and a expert level of coder. Okay. First mistake, never adding a number and a string. I have told you multiple times. Never ever add a number and a string because that will throw an error. For that, if you want, if some situation occurs, what you can do, you can use typecasting there, change the number into a string and then add it. That's totally fine. But if you think that you can add a number and a string, no, that's not gonna work. Okay, wrong quotes. You should never use wrong quotes. If you're using double quotation, always use double quotation. You're using single quotation, always use single quotation. Starting and ending quotation must match. Okay. Quotations are like brackets, so if one opens, other should close. It should never be changed. Third mistake, confusion between int and float. Int is something in numbers that have decimals. Sorry, int is something that is a float, whole number. Float is something that have uh like it have decimals. It have decimals. Simple. You have to remember it. Integer is a whole number. Float is a simple number. Fourth mistake you can, I think, make is forgetting putting the quotes in the string. So remember it because it is a different data type. So you have to work accordingly. You forget the case sensitivity, capitalization, as I told you. True and false in Boolean should always be case sensitive. Okay. Now I have given you some examples. There are some values that you have to store and try it, converting their types, combine them. Try these practice all at your home and try by taking your personal information. Try to create your name, age, height, city, college, hostel, your friend's name, print them, change their values, change their data types. Try making a mini profile like by using this only. So this is for today's lecture only. Now let us give you a brief summary. Let's revise everything in just 3 minutes. First, what is a data type? It tells what type of data is stored. It tells the type of data. Integer, always remember it's a whole number. Decimal number is a float. String is a text. Boolean is true or false. So common mistakes you can do, that is mixing strings and integers. Never do it. Never add them. Wrong codes. Whatever starts, that ends. Capitalization, sensitive language. Since Python is a case sensitive language, be careful. Wrong type conversions. If you want to change into integer, use int. Float, strings, str, boolean, bool. So remember that too. And for text, remember whenever you want to strings, you have to use double quotations. So this is what we are summarizing. Congratulations, you have completed one of the most important topics that is important for beginners. Hope you enjoyed it. Try making your own programs, try making your own mini projects by creating your own profile. Do learn before moving to the next lecture. Please revise the previous topics. Though I will make sure that I will help you to revise them all. But be with me. We are going to cover a very important topic in next unit. So that is in our next lecture. We will begin one of the most important topics, that is operators. Though we have discussed it a little bit, but we have not discussed that in details. For details of operations, we will discuss in the next video. So be with us. Thank you.